time is finally upon us. Mexico has submitted their 26-man roster for the World Cup. The players that will represent Mexico have been announced, starting with the tournament's opening match against South Africa on June 11th. There is one more friendly later this week. I'm sure we'll get into it later in the pod. But first, let me welcome Naeem Moran to the pod and get his initial reactions to Vasco's roster.
What's up, Raul? Great to be in the program. Great to be in the show. And great to see you and chat with you about Mexico. It's here now, no? You think about it. 4 years ago with Qatar and the World Cup in December, and now it's a Summer World Cup, and it's quote unquote behind our backyards. The World Cup. It's expensive as hell, but it's in our backyards. This World Cup, and we'll see. Mexico with Vasco Aguirre, his third World Cup, as manager, and a special one, not a special story because he played in 1986 and now he's going to coach in 2026. No, the full circle moment for him, and for his family, of course. And we'll see exactly how far El Tri can go if they can match that performance of that team in 1986 in 2026.
Well, let's just go through the 26-man roster. At goalie, we got Raul Rangel, Guillermo Ochoa, Carlos Acevedo. No surprises there, kind of what we expected, right?
Yeah, pretty straightforward. I mean, Tala has been goalkeeping this whole year. It's worth noting that El Tri hasn't lost in this current year when you add up all the friendlies. The mark is also excellent for Tala that, he hasn't conceded goals as much. And he's looked very, very mature. He's growing in the position. He's still growing in the position. I mean, there was critique in that play with Mateo Chavez in the first half against Australia, where he goes out too much, and Mateo also that could have led to an Australia goal. Those are the things he still needs to fix a little bit, and be more communicative and raise his voice. He has to let know Mateo that he had it. He was there. He was gonna kick it out. And then Mateo sees him, and then it's like, what am I supposed to do? Am I gonna crash with you, or what I do? So those are little things, and of course, Ochoa with the sixth World Cup. No, it's history in the making, and it's all looking like he's gonna retire after the tournament. He's gonna put an end to his career, and what a way to do it, no?
No swan song with Club America one more time while Malagon recovers?
No, see, you never know. También it could happen. I mean, but I think he declared it this week with the media day in Pasadena. The fact that the brújula of his career has always been the national team, no, and so it's sort of like whatever the national team does, that's how he's gonna guide his career. So I think now that he says this is the last dance, I think that's it.
So those three keepers, any keeper in the running other I mean, I guess Malagon was the one keeper I assumed was gonna be here. If he was healthy, I'm sure it would've been him instead of, Acevedo, and maybe him versus Raul Rangel for the start, but I think this is it, right? These 3 keepers are kind of it. I don't see anyone where I could say, "Oh, he got snubbed."
No, no, definitely. I mean, once Malagón fell injured in Philly, against the Union, that's when you knew that it was basically the three that are on the list. No, the Acevedo is lucky, to be in this position to live a World Cup because had it not been for that catastrophic injury for Malagón, there wasn't a chance for Acevedo to be present. So, it is what life is, and Malagón, like you said, Raul, a couple of months ago when we talked, he was at a high at a certain point. It was just undisputed starter, and just everything just crashed down in a matter of months. No, so it just goes to show you how things go in soccer sometimes.
Yeah, World Cup is all about timing. I mean, he was the best keeper for 3.5 years, just timing, and then he got
Yeah.
hurt, and it sucks. I feel bad for him. Moving on to the defenders/fullbacks, we got Israel Reyes, Jorge Sanchez, Gallardo, Mateo Chavez, Johan Vasquez, Cesar Montes, and Edson Alvarez is listed as a defender. Number one thing that sticks out to me, and I'm sure everyone's been talking about it, where are the center backs? It's kind of you have if okay, Israel Reyes can play center back,
Yeah.
that's fine, but he's gonna probably start at right back. So you're gonna have Johan and Cesar, and then it's like, where do you go from there? Then at that point, you're putting in D mids to play center.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a risk he's willing to take, to be honest. That's one of Aguirre's biggest risks. When you look at all the risks he's taking, this is probably on top of the list. because if Johan Vasquez is out, he's your only left-footed center back, no? So, and like we saw against Australia, he is one of your best players
Yes.
without a doubt. It's just you see the difference of his. What I'm sensing from this is that he's open to the back line of three, and that will require for Romo specifically to step up
El
and Edson
Libero.
Alvarez. So it's looking pretty obvious at this point that that is one of the cards. One of the main cards is, if we need to use the back line of three against certain opponents, we'll use it because we have the players to play it. No, so it's a matter of executing it and seeing how well it can work.
I'm gonna make a prediction and say if for some reason Johan can't play a game, whether it's injury or yellow card accumulation, there's no way Mexico's playing a four-man back line. If Johan is hurt, Gallardo's gonna be that left center back or
Yeah.
something. Like, because we have no one there, like you were saying. I mean, that's kind of why I'm surprised we didn't bring Everardo Lopez.
Yeah, yeah, and he tried Everardo a lot of
Yeah,
times. So it was very surprising when he was left out. Even Brian Gonzalez from Chivas,
he never got into the pool, like,
never, never. But like when you see him play with Chivas, he easily slotted into one of those three central roles in the defense on the left side. So it goes to show you there are players out there that could have easily fitted this sort of description of being versatile and give me playing on the left wing back position. I mean, Brian Gonzalez can play you three positions basically in defense: the left wing back, left back, and also a left center back, kind of like Carlos Salcido, a younger version of Carlos Salcido, no? So the players were out there. I mean, it's just his decision that he's going with this idea, and let's see if it works out.
what are your thoughts on the fullbacks? Obviously, it's basically Reyes and Sanchez on the right, and then you have Gallardo and Mateo Chavez. It's kinda like
The
I would
left
say
side is pretty strong.
the left side also has a big difference. I feel like Mateo Chavez bombing down there, he's bombing. Gallardo
Mhm.
is a little more stay back, more physical, and then you got Israel Reyes and Jorge Sanchez, I feel like a little more similar with but Israel Reyes is a stay-at-home right back. He is not I've
Yeah.
been looking at his heat maps, he is not bombing down the side. He is it's almost like Vasco has it tilted, so when he has Israel Reyes, the left fullback's just gonna bomb up, and then the rest of the defense kinda shifts over a little bit, with that right back almost being like another center back, and because the left fullback's just gonna be pushing up so far.
Yeah. I mean, against Ghana, he tried attacking Israel Reyes. But then again, it was Ghana. It was an opponent that wasn't even like the Ghana that's going to be in the World Cup. But like you said, I mean, it shifts a lot. The sensation is that if Reyes starts, it means that the left fullback, will be able to attack more.
He's got
The,
more freedom.
the thing is, the opponent is going to read that, and they're going to try to bomb that side as much as possible, and accumulate people on that side. That way, they can do the counter quicker. I mean, it's the shape that he wants, and it's the one that he's tried many times, and it seems to work for him at the moment.
Midfield, or at least who is listed as a midfielder, Luis Romo, Eric Lira, Obed Vargas, Alvaro Fidalgo, Chicago's very own Brian Gutierrez, Orbelin Pineda, Luis Chavez coming in at the very end there,
Yeah.
and then, Morita.
Well, the inclusion of it is El Tri's best
The deepest
position, no,
position,
the
yes.
deepest position, no, that there's depth, there's a lot of
A lot of
variables you can.
profiles too, a lot of different types of profiles.
And it's very, very important to find the right shape that will allow it to shine, no, and the right, group of midfielders. It seems that in March with Fidalgo, Brian, and Lira, something was brewing, no.
Yep.
So you would think that
Well,
he's gonna keep.
Mora wasn't available for those games, right?
Mora wasn't available. So does that mean that you take off, for example, Fidalgo or Brian Gutierrez to slot in Mora? No, but also, one another thing in the Australia friendly, I wasn't so impressed with Hidalgo, and I don't know if it was the shape or just the way that where he was receiving the ball or where he was starting playing. No, I think it was La Volpe that said that Fidalgo is better when he's sort of constructing the play instead of being a finalizador, not finishing the play. And against Australia, he was. a little bit ahead, no?
I think didn't Vasco try him, like, almost on the right wing? Or am I thinking of something else?
Now maybe you're thinking about Orbelin. That is just freaking fell on the right wing.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, looking at Alvaro's heat map against Australia, yeah, he hugs the right side a little bit, but yeah, I mean, can you get away with playing Fidalgo and Mora at the same time?
But that's something that he has to check out. No,
Maybe against South Africa?
it's a possibility.
It's one of those things where I think you play one or the other. I don't know. He has options. He has options.
Yeah, he has options, but it's gonna be tricky decisions, no? And it goes to show you also that Gutierrez has done so much in this year that he can be considered a starter. I mean, it's hard to take him off, and the reason Gutierrez is because he's a different type of midfielder. You know, he can do so many things and has a good track to tracking back. No, I mean, the ability to come back and try to steal the ball away. I don't know if Hidalgo and Mora offer you that, and
Yeah.
so you
Brian's a
need
two-way
that.
player at this point,
Yeah,
especially compared to I love Mora, but you need to construct the right midfield around Mora to kind of protect him because he's 17 years old. He is a skinny kid. Like he's gonna get beat up.
yeah.
Like you
Well, I
thought
mean,
he's gonna
his
get beat up.
his first manager in first division, Juan Carlos Osorio, said it best. We need to get the ball to Mora close to the area, and we need Mora close to the area. We can't have Mora in the midfield constructing the play because that's where he's going to get hit. If
Yeah,
he gets hit inside the box, you create a penalty.
yeah.
So you gotta find pockets that he needs to be in that area, which goes to the to question: do we really need Roberto Alvarado to be a starter? Why not put Mora up ahead with Quinones and Raul Jimenez? And have Fidalgo, Lira, and Brian Gutierrez. I don't see why not. I mean,
Because
if
if
you're
you do
telling
that,
me
if you put Mora on the right side, almost as a right quote unquote as a right winger who cuts in, and you have Israel Reyes behind him, who's not gonna push up, so Mora is not imperative that hey, you need to track back. No, it's like, hey, I got Reyes behind me. I know he's gonna stay
and you got
there,
Brian Gutierrez too
and you
behind him.
got Bryant. Yeah, that I want. I want to see something like that against Serbia. Try something like
Mhm.
just a ver qué pasa. You never know. It
Yeah,
could fail, but hey, it failed against Serbia before the World Cup. It's fine.
but ese es like we say in Spanish, se va a morir con la suya. It seems that he wants to start Piojo Alvarado no matter what. And I get it. I get it. Alvarado offers you you're tracking back and he defends well. But South Africa won't have the ball.
No,
Czechia won't have the ball. Maybe against South Korea, you will require someone like Piojo Alvarado that is easily comfortable tracking back, especially with the speedy wingers that Korea might have. But you know, when you have Mora, I think Mora has a precedent that is just it's not it's just a player that is a genius. So it's like, how do you make it happen that he starts, but you also sort of surround him with the right group. So that way that he can feel comfortable and he can feel safe, no? Because at the end of the day, he's a 17-year-old. And
he's
I
a
think
child.
El Tri does have players to arroparlo bien, so to cover him well. It's just finding, I mean, but if está bien necio Vasco that Alvarado has to start and Vega has to start, for example, just throwing out names, and it's tough. It's gonna be tough.
It's almost like you start Alvarado or you start Israel Reyes. Like if you start both of them, their right side is gonna be on for when you have the ball.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
But if you put Mora as a right wing or Fidalgo, you kinda have the cover of, hey, you don't have to get back. If whoever plays that position, you don't feel like I need to go back and cover because I have Reyes back there who is he's a solid defender. He's not
yeah.
gonna push forward, but if he's gonna defend back, then at least you feel because if you had like for instance, if we had Huescas, who we thought was gonna be here, you need to track back because there's a good chance that Huescas is gonna be the furthest player forward on the right flank.
Yeah, and then to be let it be known, Huescas, had he been healthy, he's in this roster. I mean, there's no question, and it means that probably Jorge Sanchez is out.
Yep.
That's how it is.
Yeah. And that if that were the case, then you'd have the same thing on the left side. You have one a bombing down fullback and one a little further back stay at home. But what are your thoughts on I know we talked about it before. Luis Chavez and Pineda making this roster. I know we both aren't huge fans of Pineda at this point. He's
Yeah.
so inconsistent, but I'm surprised him and Luis Chavez made it.
Well, the reason Luis Chavez made it is because he has that left foot. No, he
Yeah,
has that left foot, and he's still versatile in a way. I mean, he moved pretty well against Australia, I gotta say. I mean, he was moving, he was finding the right
he
pockets.
did. He did play some league games in Russia and some friendlies with them since March. So he's
Yeah,
been playing. He's not coming back. I mean, another player we'll talk about next, but Chino Huerta, he
he's really
played
low.
what, like 40 minutes the
Oh,
last.
you can tell that dude was barely
Yeah.
getting it together.
So if he does, if Vasco doesn't play like his quote unquote starters against Serbia, I feel like Chino Huerta is going to start and get minutes just to get back in shape.
Exactly. And
Him and
especially
Luis Chavez.
the altitude also will play a role. But Chavez also, if you make an opinion poll of the 2022 World Cup, who's the best Mexico player in that World Cup? A lot of people were saying Luis Chavez.
Yeah, it's Luis Chavez.
So so it's like you needed to sort of I think Luis Chavez won his spot in this roster in the Qatar World Cup. As crazy as it sounds, I know he made the move to Russia and it was criticized and whatnot, but he's still a player that has a good vision, a good IQ as well. And I think that, hopefully he can get that shot on target now. Use these weeks to get that shot on target. If he
Yeah.
gets that shot on target, we got another scoring option. Orbelin Pineda, let it be known that ever since he arrived to Greece, he's won titles. I mean,
He's
he's
won
been
player of the years.
so it's like this is not a horrible player. This player has something. The thing is, it doesn't show up on the national team. And it's similar to what happened to Charlie Rodriguez. It's like it's not like you had 5 chances. You had more than 50 chances in the case of Charlie Rodriguez, but nothing happened. I mean, not there's not a game that I can tell at the top of my head of like, oh, remember this Charlie Rodriguez game that was just bonkers and sort of he just ruled the whole midfield. I don't have one of those, and I don't have one for Orbelin Pineda. So it's these players or these cases that they've had great careers. So you can't erase that.
Mhm.
But in the national team level, we just haven't spotted a bright moment of that sort.
Just to drive the point home on Orbelin Pineda, he has 12 goals with the national team. This is who he scored against: El Salvador,
Okay.
Guatemala, Honduras, Canada in a Gold Cup game, Costa Rica in 2022 World Cup qualifying, Jamaica, Honduras, Costa Rica, Panama when it was to make it 3-0 in the Nations League final in 2024, and then against New Zealand and Turkey. I mean, it's like there's no Orbelin moment with the national team. There's
Yeah.
no there's
Yeah.
no game
One
where he took
moment
over.
that stuck with me was I think in the Copa America and the game they lost against Venezuela, I believe. He missed a penalty kick. And he was just the crowd ate him up and the pressure ate him up and he couldn't tie the game. So it is an issue. I mean, some people can say maybe he's been playing him out of position. I mean, maybe the fact that Vasco's putting him on the right wing where I mean, maybe when he was younger he would play there, but why not put him in a midfield role that is deeper and see what
But
happens?
but now if you tell me, "Hey, his best position is sitting deeper," he's not a
He's not
guy.
better than Lira. He's not better than
Exactly.
Alvarez. He's not better than
So
Romo. So it's like it's a wasted at this what we're coming to the conclusion is you could have easily selected another player instead of Orbelin Pineda. In my opinion, it could have easily been Richie Ledesma because Richie Ledesma can play you in the midfield. You can shoot him in the wing too.
well,
And you can
Vasco
put him
says
on
he's not a defender, so if you say that he's not a defender, okay, bring call him up but in your mind, you're calling him up as a winger.
exactly. And I think he would have done excellent. I mean, there's not the in the Liga MX season that just happened, there wasn't a better Mexican crosser than Richie Ledesma. And that's exactly the role that Orbelin was playing against Australia. He was supposed to cross it into the box for Memote because you have a big body in the box.
Yeah?
And that could have easily been Richie Ledesma. But of course, we don't know about football. That's one thing. He's a coach. Rafa Marquez is a coach. We're just shooting our opinion. But when you add all these up, all these numbers and stats and events, I think Corbelin didn't deserve to be in this call-up.
That was my surprise from the midfield that he was called in, 'cause I honestly figured it would be one or the other, or
Uh,
Belin or Luis Chavez, not both, but
well, but it goes to show, for example, with Luis, how much Aguirre appreciates him. I mean, he just waited it out. I mean, literally, he had the knee injury, waited it out till then, and he's in the World Cup.
yeah, like I said, the big benefit with Luis Chavez is he did make it back by March, so he's had some weeks to get some rhythm,
Yeah.
whereas, like, let's move on to the attackers, but Chino Huerta, that man, I think he's made, like, a 20-minute cameo, and then maybe, like, another 15 minutes for Anderlecht since he came back, and he looked gassed on Saturday,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
know it's the heat, I know it's Cali, he just looked gassed, and he came on at halftime, so
Look, Chino Huerta is historically, in Mexican football, we've had these wingers, no, the fast wingers, technically gifted, a Cabrito Arellano, a Venado Medina, Tecatito Corona. That's why Chino Huerta is in this roster because he offers that sort of dynamism from the wing, no, from the right flank. But let me tell you, right now, Chino Huerta is nowhere near those names that I just mentioned, a Tecatito, Cabrito, or a Venado Medina. No, so maybe a year ago he was, but right now he's out of shape.
he's
You know,
played he's played 180 minutes since October.
I mean, this player, what makes him special is explosiveness, and if he doesn't have the damn explosiveness right now, I don't understand why calling him. If he doesn't have it, he's not gonna have it because he hasn't played. Well. Fortunately for him and fortunately for Vasco, out of the 26 players, I don't think he's a one that, right now you tell me he's gonna play an X amount of minutes in the World Cup. I see it very hard. Maybe he's gonna have cameo minutes, maybe. But I don't see Chino Huerta as a starter, for example. So that's the positive thing of this.
Yeah, you're right. If he gets his fitness back up, I think he could still be dangerous in 20 say, "Hey, we'll bring you on for 20, 25 minutes. Go as hard as you can for those 20, 25 minutes." I'm okay with like, it's
It could be the case in the round of 32. Knock on wood, round of 32, Mexico, you need someone with fast legs. By that time, you would hope that
yeah.
he's in optimal level and then let it rip, no, and see what happens.
Joining him as an attacker, we got Piojo Alvarado, Chino Huerta, Alexis Vega, Quiñones, Memote Martinez, Hormiga Gonzalez, and then the Jimenez and Jimenez. What? I think we talked about it before, but I think Memote is kind of like he's not starting. He is. We have 10 minutes. The other team is bunkering down. Let's bring him in. Another target. Is that how you feel like about Memote? And what are your thoughts on him over Berterame? And then one final thing, I can't think of the goalie. He's an analyst now. He's been around for a while. Felix?
Félix Fernández.
Yes. I was watching a clip with him where he said, "Hey, Berterame picked playing with Messi in Miami over the World Cup." That's
Yeah, yeah, I mean, it's a rivalry, so you gotta add to the wound, no, a little bit. But look, Memote is a big surprise. I mean,
is it
you
just
you
the profile? Like Vasco's, "Hey, I need someone great in the air."
it's not only the profile. I feel that there's something else, and it has to do a lot with the character and also the what he brings to the group. I think a player that comes every morning and trains with a certain level and a certain professionalism, Vasco will notice. I mean, Vasco has coached so many players around the world, so he knows certain profiles that make a difference in a team, no? In terms of, the young ones have to, even the ones that look sure starters like the Jimenezes and Jimenez, Santi, they need some type of competition in the training session. And I feel like Memo brings that. Memo is not
Is
afraid
he,
to.
one of those, vestidor players we were talking about earlier?
Exactly. Vestidor player. I mean, and then it also adds to the fact that, when you have 26 players, you can call up a player like this one that, if it was a 23 man roster, I don't think Memot is in, you know,
Yeah, you're
uh,
right.
but this is what allows you to extend the pool and it allows you to bring a player of the sort, no? Let that be. And then just with Verterame, it's kind of strange because Verterame was used many minutes by Aguirre. Verterame is also a player that is so-called in his prime. He's 26, 27. So he's still in a good age.
Let me throw this at you. Since, like you said, it is a 26-man roster, and back in the day, for all you youngsters, it used to be 23. So if we stick with that, number 24, 25, 26, 3 specialists, Luis Chavez, Memote, and then I don't know who else, but it's almost
You
like
would
with
say
those
Chimo
those
Huerta with explosiveness, no?
yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. If this roster is 23, I don't think Memote makes it. I don't think, Chino makes it, and then maybe one of the Pineda maybe doesn't make it, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. No,
But
and
it seems like, sorry to cut you off,
yeah.
Quiñones on the left. I know Berterame can also play on the left. Did it come down to Quiñones versus Berterame for that spot, you think?
No, no,
No?
no. I think the- I feel the competition was with Santi Jimenez. You
Because if
know,
that's the case, I love Santi, but
Santi's in AC Milan and Berterame is in MLS. I think that at the end of the day also has some sort of effect, and also there is there is an issue with Santi, in my opinion, that it sucked that he was left out in 2022.
yeah,
Because he was playing at such a high level.
my god.
That was a moment that he had to be in the roster. And
All
this
these interview he's been doing press with the national team, and I've seen some interviews where he talks about how, he was shocked that he wasn't on the roster, and they were showing clips of Tata Martino talking about it, like, "Oh, he hasn't had a lot of minutes yet, blah, blah, blah," and he's the leading scorer in Europa League. And meanwhile, and then he also said in an interview that he got called into the final camp, kind of saying, "Hey, you're coming in, but only if Raul can't go. But we're gonna call you up while we decide." And he said it in the interview. Within 5 minutes of landing back in Mexico, he was told, "Hey, you're not gonna go to the World Cup." So
and look,
some shit went down.
yeah, and it affected, his sort of way of thinking. And, he could have easily pulled off a Carlos Vela if he wanted to. Be like, you treat me like this, I'll come whenever the heck I want to. But, Chaco Jimenez played for the national team as well as a naturalizado, some games. There is love for the country, love for La Patria. With Verterame, at the end of the day, I don't think it was because he went with Messi, no, like Felix
Yeah,
Fernandez. But it did affect a little bit his chances, I'd say. I mean, I don't know if Vasco rates MLS as high, although two MLS Academy players are in the roster. No.
academy players.
Yeah, yeah, made in MLS,
I
no?
mean, Brian didn't get called up until he went to Chivas.
Yeah, yeah, and then that's the history right there. But time will tell if it was a wrong decision. I mean, the thing with Berterame is that every time he came to the national team, he did well. He did as well as he could. But I think at the end of the day, Santi needed his World Cup, and even though he's not at the best form right now, he deserves to be in.
And it's also not like Betarame is in the best form. Like, it's not like he's in MLS, but he's not scoring like 2 goals a game or anything crazy. It's like, you take one or the other, it's not gonna decide your World Cup, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's also the naturalizado thing, Raul. You already have Alvaro Fidalgo, you already have Julian Quiñones. Herman Berterame would have been 3. I think that probably would have been a record for a Mexico national team. I understand that, the world is globalized and everything, but Mexico, it's tough with that topic still. And Vasco also read the room. No, it's like, I already got 2. I know that those 2 are really good. Julian, basically the top goal scorer of the Saudi Arabia League.
Julian pushed it. If he wasn't leading the league or, scoring
Maybe
a
he
goal,
wouldn't picked. Yeah, yeah.
he forced his way on there.
And Fidalgo's in Betis. I mean, those 2 things really play a fundamental role in the decision making.
All right, let's go through some tidbits I found looking up some information, then we'll go to maybe some snubs and some tactics. The average age of this 26-man roster for Mexico is 27.9, 27.4 if you take away Memo, and the US men's national team is 26.9, so it's pretty similar, whereas in 2022, the US was about 4 years younger per
Well,
player than the United States or than Mexico. The US actually had the youngest roster at the 2022 World Cup with at 24.5. Mexico was the second oldest at 28 years old. So we've gotten younger. We have gotten younger. Mexico's bringing 5 U23 players, the most since they brought 8 at the 2010 World Cup. Combined, Mexico has almost 1,200 caps in this roster. So an average of 46 caps per player.
not bad, not bad.
Not bad. The average age of the 2018 World Cup for Mexico was 29.4. Again, the second oldest squad, and that had 4 U23 players: Edson, Lozano, Eric Gutierrez, and Gallardo. Brian Gutierrez, Obed Vargas are the first MLS products academy kids to make the roster for Mexico. I don't think they're gonna be the last. I really
No,
don't.
no, that thing's gonna grow.
Yep. And they are the first Mexican Americans to make the World Cup for Mexico since 2014, when technically Brizuela and Miguel Angel Ponce made the roster, you
Hey,
know?
Ponce won a gold medal, huh? He won a
But
gold medal
yeah,
in London.
yep. So, and I guess were those guys the first Americans to play for Chivas, I guess, technically?
Yeah,
Maybe?
yeah, they could have been right there. Yeah.
And then let's just move on to snubs. We kinda talked about Berterame. I'll name a one of the Mexican journals I follow posted a starting 11 of players snubs. We got Malagon. I mean, he's hurt, but, Malagon at goalie. Chiquete Orozco, also hurt, center back. Campillo from Chivas. Huescas at right back, he's hurt. Cotorro Gonzalez on the left, he could have.
Yeah, we talked about him.
Yeah. Charlie, he balled out for Cruz Azul. I'm not taking anything away from him, but
And captain,
yeah. So I get it, but it is kinda time to move on. You know what you have with him, and I'd rather bring in Brian Gutierrez or something, you know?
yeah, but Brian, the apparition of Brian and Alvaro Fidalgo kicked them out, basically.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, it's him or Lida in terms of that deep playmaker, and he's not better than Lida, and he's not gonna play over Edson, so it's kind of that profile kind of
Yeah,
because
fingers crossed. Lila is one of the next ones to go to Europe, no?
yeah. Marcel Dries also hurts in a way. I don't know the story there. Is he gonna have surgery after this now?
He did
Okay,
announce, it's already, I don't, he announced in an interview with TUDN that he's getting knee surgery.
okay. Montiel, it just was a little bit too early for him, I feel like. It was just
Yeah, the last months with Montiel have been kind of strange. No
since the
injuries.
U20 since the
Hmm.
U20 World Cup, yeah,
Even in the U20 World Cup, there was a lot of expectation. It didn't turn
yeah,
out the way
yeah.
we had hoped for.
Still, he's 20 years old,
He's really
so
good though. Yeah, there's potential.
Kevin Castañeda, he is making a late push, but he's going to Chivas now.
He's going to Chivas. Man, Chivas has now more weapons. Phew.
Yeah, they gotta get rid of some guys, man. They got Fidel
Well, the
Barajas on
thing,
the books. They got Eric Gutierrez. I think Pulido is still on there contract
they're
wise.
already thinking about the off season now because Ormiga might get offers. One thing with Ormiga, I don't know if you've read Raul. Is he represented by that agency of JC? O cómo se llama este? Shit, ahorita no me acuerdo el nombre.
The
But I
the
think
the woman who represents Santi,
no, the represents Hormiga González.
the woman.
No,
So I
no,
just looked
Rock
up on
Nation. Rock
Rock
Nation.
Nation is Armando. What?
Yes, bro, something like that I've heard. I might be
It
saying
is
both. It is.
according to Transfer Market. It's Rock Nation. Rock
That's what
Nation
I'm telling.
Sports.
Yo, that's crazy.
I thought you were talking about the woman who represents Hilberto Mora,
No
and
way. I'm talking about Rock Nation.
yeah, he's on the Rock. That's what it says. Transfer Market, and I believe Transfer Market.
That's crazy. That's what I'm telling you. I mean, Hormiga's leaving. If Rock Nation has him, there's something.
Shout out to the Rock. Damn, I didn't realize it would make I was represented by Rock Nation. Wow.
Yeah, and I don't think it's been really the only reason I've heard is because I was listening to some people from Guadalajara, and I was like, "Wait a second, is this real?" And I had to check it.
Just I did not know they had this many soccer players. All right, this is who Rock Nation represents. Vinicius Jr., Jan Diamante, who's gonna go
Really
for
good.
$100 million. Let's see who else. Endrick, Paquete, or Paqueta, Chris Richards for the US, Kevin De Bruyne.
Damn. He's gonna get mad money.
Yeah, wow. That is an impressive roster of dudes.
And it's an impressive roster for La Hormiga to be in. No, it's like,
Yeah,
it's pretty
yeah.
really special.
Wow, I did not know that. That is wow. Well, I hope they have a good negotiating team or something because Chivas are not the easiest team to negotiate.
Chivas is gonna change a lot of pieces, especially offensively.
And then Bertolame, a snub, we talked about him, and then Diego Lainez, I don't know anymore.
It's
Just
over. It was a nice story.
I just
I mean,
he
he could be Oribe Peralta, no? Like, his first World Cup is gonna come at freaking 30 something.
I mean, the next World Cup, he's still only gonna be 29. It's not like
So there's still a chance we'll see Dieguito in the World Cup.
yeah, that's just wild to me. Yeah, he's just and it's like a crazy thing, like, when we heard the rumors that Diego Lainez está descartado, he's not gonna make it, like, I feel like from that point on to the rest of the year, he was balling out for Tigres.
Yeah.
But by that point, I feel like if you weren't in the plans by February, it's almost like he had his mind made up on who he wanted, for better
Yeah.
or worse. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just saying, like
I'm gonna be honest with you. With me, with Diego, the moment I knew things were going downhill was when he left Europe for Tigres. You know, when he just had no, he was like, you know what? Tigres is offering me all this bag of money and I'll just go back to Mexico. And it's like, yeah, I think he had to like, it's like when you look at Guardado's story, Guardado struggled. Guardado played in second division with Deportivo La Coruña, you
yeah,
know, and he stayed there and he was like, I'm gonna stay here. Then he went to Valencia and Valencia things weren't pretty either. You know, he was benched and he was playing left back and you know, the coach didn't like him.
and then he went to Bayer Leverkusen, played,
So
like,
it's
4
like
games.
he was telling his agent all the time, keep me in Europe, keep me in Europe. And Linus just gave up. It was like he didn't make it in Betis. Clearly, there was some sense that it was just too much money as well. It's like 18 million something euros, and if you're not producing at Betis for 18 million, you're gonna get criticized. I mean,
Yes.
it's like if they're paying 18 million, they expect you to do stuff.
Oh,
A
yeah, you're
club
not
like Betis,
yeah, it's not like Real Madrid spent 18 million. It's like, "Alright, you can go on loan for a couple years and whatever." No, if Betis is spending that much money on you I mean, how much did Betis spend on,
Fidalgo, I think they spent
like,
like a million or something,
it's
2 million.
yeah, like, less than $3 million because his contract was close to an end, but I thought yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was a
So
steal,
oh, yeah,
basically. For Betis, they didn't lose anything. I mean, they're just gonna win a lot.
yeah. And I think out of all those guys on that list, I mean, Chiquete hurt. He would have been here. If Chiquete was healthy, he would have been the backup to Johan.
Yeah, because Vasco used them that way many
Yeah,
times. And the
yeah,
Gold Cup, I think that was the case.
yeah. So I think all these guys other than maybe Malagon, Charlie, all the other guys on this list that we just talked about, I think they have a chance making the next roster, the 2030 roster. They'll be at least
Well, it
they'll
depends
have a
who the
chance.
coach will be, you
Yeah,
know? And let's
yeah,
hope it's Rafa. Let's
yeah.
hope. But you never know in Mexico.
I know we mentioned it before. Any players you thought were gonna be here? If we had a podcast in January 2023 and I was like, "Hey, who do you think's gonna be important in the next cycle and make the roster?" Is there
Mhm.
a player you were like, "Oh, yeah, he's gonna be there," and he's not even anywhere near here?
Like asking me this in 2022
After the World Cup, after the
in
20
Qatar?
yeah, after the World Cup, we're all coming back. It's January 2023. We're looking ahead.
Yeah,
Who do you think what you were like, "You know what? I think he's gonna be important here. He's gonna start, or he's gonna be,"
that's a good question.
I'll give you one of mine.
A
Emilio
ver,
Emilio Lara.
oof,
He's still young, but he was 20 years old, balling out at Club America. He was in Necaxa last I checked, nothing.
shoot.
All the fullbacks I thought were gonna be there, none of them are here.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You know, that proceso with Tata was so bad, now that I look back.
It was so
That
bad.
I wa that I mean, that's one of the things that I gotta recognize with Vasco. He recuperated and reignited a little bit the love for the team, because there was a point where I was just I mean, of course, I'm a writer and stuff, but as a fan, I was fed up.
Yeah.
I was just like, man, I don't even care about these names and that name and this name. And Vasco came, Morita happened. I'm telling you, Morita changed a lot of things as well. Having that
Hope.
sort of player, yeah,
Hope.
basically hope. Because after that World Cup, it was just awful. I mean, you didn't make it out of the group. You couldn't. There was just such a bad environment overall.
Vibes are bad. The vibes are off. Yeah.
And so, I mean, I think that led to like not being optimistic. Yeah, and so like the question that you just asked me right now is like, what player you thought? And at that point, I didn't care about the team. Just que se chingue. O sea, but I think let's recognize with Vasco that he brought back that sort of hope to the team a little bit. And I think that's what he's done well, even if, he has had his episodes that are not so, nice or not so memorable, but he has that in him.
The biggest thing with Vasco, when he was hired that I was happy, he it's kinda like the opposite of what US men's national team fans have, because they know their coach, he's gone. He doesn't really care about this job. I'm not saying he doesn't care, okay? He's
I mean,
making,
it's
like
similar to how Tata felt 4
yes.
years ago.
Whereas Vasco cares. He doesn't care if he gets fired. Like, he's at the end of his career. He's not looking for a different job. He's like, "This is my duty to my country. I'm gonna make things right." Whereas I feel like the coaches since Tata were like, they were trying to keep their jobs. And the generational change that Jimmy talked about, he couldn't do it. If he wanted to keep his job, he had to win the Gold Cup. He had to win things. Every manager had to win things, where I think Vasco, he didn't have to win. He just had to show progress, and he kinda did things his way and gave people hope, and kind of I mean, he we talked about, like, all these youngsters. Obed wasn't in the national team, Mora wasn't a thing, Brian Gutierrez, like,
Yeah,
he's bringing these guys up. There's a plan. It's hope. I mean,
it's home, yeah,
we might do this. We might get grouped. I know I'm being honest.
yeah,
Even if we do, I won't feel as bad as I did after 2022,
and that's a big statement.
you
That's a
know?
big statement because it's at home in
Yeah.
Mexico, where it's expected to make it out of the group at least. But, things haven't been so smooth. I mean, now that I'm, like, tracking back, it's like, Edson Alvarez didn't play against Argentina, and
Bro.
I was like, "What the heck is going on?" And Gutierrez did play. Eddie Gutierrez played in that game against Argentina, and look where Eddie
But
Gutierrez is at now.
he only played because Guardado got hurt.
That's another thing. Yeah.
If Guardado doesn't get hurt,
It was crazy how the Argentines celebrated when Guardado got hurt. They were like, it was like a sigh of relief. Like, oh shoot, he's
yeah,
out. That's insane.
because they knew, like,
If they lost that game, it was over.
they knew that Guardado, they're not gonna shake him. He's not gonna get he's been
He's
playing
not
in La
daunted.
Liga since he was 19 years old, like, he knows all those guys, like, they know him, he's steady. Obviously, he's at the end of his career, but he's that veteran presence, whereas you bring in Eric Gutierrez, who I was high on,
We were all high on. I mean, myself included.
you know? It's
And
just one
and
of
uh,
those
you
things.
you would have thought that player would have grown on the role and be a starter now, but he's nowhere near that. No, I mean, he's just not there.
Just because I hate myself, this is who Mexico started against Argentina: Ochoa, Gallardo, Moreno, Montes, Araujo, Kevin Alvarez, a back line of 5. And then in the midfield, we had Luis Chavez, Hector Herrera, Andres Guardado, and up top, we had Chucky Lozano and Vega.
To Cam Vega.
And the subs we made was Eric Gutierrez came in for Guardado, like, late in the first half, and the other subs were we brought in Raul Jimenez, Antuna came in the game, and Piojo Alvarado, who played the worst 15 minutes I've ever seen someone play. He looked scared. He looked scared out there playing against Argentina.
And now Piojo Alvarado is a starter for El
Yeah.
Tri, no?
Guys who did not see the field that day, Johan Vasquez, Edson Alvarez, Luis Romo was on the team. But yeah, we played a back line of 5. It was
But like a backline of five that was just all back.
yeah, it was rough. It was rough. Anyways, let's move on to tactics. Kind of like Tata Martino. Mexico has different ways to play. Whereas with Tata Martino, like the reason he did such a poor job, he had one way to play, and once Jimenez got hurt, he never adjusted his tactics. He tried squeezing different players to the same tactics, and we looked like shit. At least with Vasco, we can play a 3-4-3, we can play a five back, we can do a lot of different things. But Mexico against South Africa, how do you think Mexico's lining up?
I think very similar to how they lined up in March, with Portugal and Belgium. I think it's pretty obvious, and I would say just blurt out an 11 right now. Tala Rangel, Reyes as a right back, Montes, Johan, Gallardo, Lira, Hidalgo, Brian, Quiñones, Raúl, and if it was up to me, I'll put Mora. I don't start Piojo Alvarado against South Africa.
And just to contrast that with the Portugal game, that's pretty much exactly who Vasco played against Portugal, except he started Obed in the middle and then Alvarado on the wing. But
Yeah.
Mora wasn't available.
And then Brian Gutierrez, no, that would be the
Yeah,
Brian started. Brian.
he started on the left.
Ay, canijo.
So the starting lineup was Rangel, Gallardo, Vasquez, Montes, Reyes, Lira, and then Gutierrez on the left, Vargas, Fidalgo, Alvarado on the right, and then Jimenez up top.
Mm. I mean, it's so constant. He keeps using Alvarado for everything. It's like he's gonna find. It seems that he always tries to find a place for him.
I remember Quinones balled out that game when he came in for Gutierrez on the left. He was Mexico's best player.
Yeah, yeah.
He had that ball to Odmiga that he should have scored. Can you imagine if he would have scored that at the first game at the Azteca grand reopening? Man,
Add $10 million to his transfer, basically. Rock
basically
Nation would have said, he scored against
against
Portugal. So
Portugal.
yeah, it's like 10 million right there.
Yeah, at
She,
least 10 million pesos, at least.
I can't believe he's he's represented by Rock Nation, man. That's the craziest.
That's the only Mexican player they represent?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, let's hope it opens the door for many more Mexicans,
And
especially
you know
now that
what?
there's more Mexican Americans as
Yeah,
well, no?
and we joke, but one of the things that I think, hampered the careers of other Mexican players in the past, bad advice from agents.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
always joke about Memo Ochoa's agent.
yeah.
An agent can make all the difference in the world, especially in soccer, soccer is a global game. It's not like the NBA where you have
Well,
an
well,
agent.
supposedly the agent of Mora, Rafaela,
Yeah,
she helped Obed's people so Obed could get to Atletico Madrid. I mean, there was some talk that, she was like putting a good word on Obed and, she's well connected with Atleti and it happened, no? I mean, just those. I mean, these are people that are well connected, so it's like they move the market. So if you're tied to them, because something good will happen, no? And
yeah,
well, Obed also already has a Spanish passport,
yes,
so which is
huge,
huge. Yo,
huge.
he's already set.
And yeah, the story is that yeah, her agency helped broker that deal. So that yeah,
Rafaela, we love you. Rafaela, we
for
love you,
real,
man.
man.
Shoot,
And what's gonna happen with Santi this summer?
yeah, that's enough.
Who
But
knows?
hey, if Arne Slot becomes the AC Milan coach, then he stays, no?
Yeah,
Basic.
he'll stay unless some Premier League club comes in and say, "Hey, we'll give you $25 million for him." AC Milan needs money.
Yeah,
They
that's
didn't
true.
qualify for Champions League, so
I mean, Sunderland is in Europa League, no? Sunderland?
yeah, that's
That's an
awesome.
option. That's
Yeah,
crazy. Well, that Netflix
I
series was nice,
love
bro.
it was nice. It was nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Final question: does Mexico's offense really rest on the back of a 17-year-old?
A la madre. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's the truth. I mean, sometimes I just sense it. I mean, you can say right now that Quiñones and Brian Gutierrez take off some weight out of him, and I think that's good. But still, like he has magic, man. And if he's in his day, in his high day, anything can happen. I mean, he's just that good. And when you have a player of that sort, it's like you give him the ball. You look up for him, sort of like, where is he? and you give it to him, even if he's 17, because you know he's gonna do something. So it's like it is a big a big task, because he's so young, but at the same time he is him, So it's like, what else? It's not his fault that he's so good, and it's
Yeah,
not, the players notice it.
and the player and compared to his first start in the Gold Cup, he's gotten so much better in terms of just and the players look for him now. Like, as soon as the ball gets from the goalie to the center back or the fullback, where is he? I gotta give him the ball because it's like in basketball. You give it to if you have a really good point guard, you'll give him the ball because you know if you're open, you'll get it back.
Yeah, yeah.
And he'll take a shot, but like he is looking to distribute the ball.
But that's the thing about, the thing that sucked about this injury he had is we really didn't see,
Yep.
how he would play with Quiñones, Fidalgo, Brian. So it's just all gonna happen all of a sudden, just like on one take, and it
I
could
would
go
have loved to
really
see
bad.
him in March.
Exactly, bro.
That would have been nice.
So it adds a little bit more pressure to him because he has to really perform.
But also, you can't from a scouting perspective,
Yeah, it's a surprise factor.
it's I you know, he has
And
7
and look,
caps.
and look, it is scary. They're gonna hit him. They're gonna tackle him.
Yep.
And that factors in, you're kind of like worried, like, oh, hopefully they don't do stuff to him. So I remember Neymar in 2014. I mean, they hit the crap out of Neymar, bro.
Neymar in 2012, Severo Mesa fucked him up.
So it's like, remember how much I mean, Neymar couldn't even play after what was it, the Colombia game, I believe.
Yeah,
I mean, they almost freaking hit his back and everything. And,
yeah.
good
It's
players
different
are
now,
gonna,
it's different,
it's
it's
different.
different.
The bar is there. So you do
Yeah,
something crazy, the bar will get you. So, I
yeah.
mean, maybe that helps.
But also, yellow card accumulation resets 1 game earlier this time.
Okay.
So, like, I used to hate that rule, "Oh, you get 2 yellows in the first 3 games, like, you're gonna miss out." I think it resets in the quarterfinals now as opposed to the semifinals.
I mean, there's more games. No, no, no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is
there is
more
more
games.
games. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So they've changed that rule a little bit. I hate that rule. I think it's that's why I'm always like, you need a 3rd center back and you need a 2nd, like, starting quality defensive mid because those positions always get 2 yellows
Yo,
in 3
in
games.
2014, Gallito Vasquez is out, and then what happens in the game against the Netherlands? Then Hector Moreno gets hurt, so it's like it screws you up like nasty because Salcido was already playing defensive mid because Gallito was not available, and then Moreno drops, so you have to put in Reyes in sort of like a makeshift role because he wasn't lefty. So, and where does all the freaking opportunities from the Netherlands come from? That side where Reyes is defending. So it's like you got to think ABC from A through Z, and
Yeah.
if you don't have the roster well done,
The depth.
it might screw you up. And
Yeah.
let's be honest, right now with Vasco, he's playing with fire because you don't have someone for Johan Vasquez. There's not a natural replacement.
No, no. And real quick, Gallito Vasquez, one of my favorite flashes in the pan. That man had 19 caps his whole career for Mexico. 18 of them were in 2014, 2015, and then that was it.
I mean, it's one of those like legendary stories, no, that you're gonna tell to your kids. I mean, like there was this player from Guanajuato that totally he ate Modric, Rakitic, like, and these players went on to do so many great things in football, but Gallito was better than them.
And where did he break through? La Segunda, 2nd division with Celaya.
Con Celaya, León
Got them
también.
promoted, and then, yeah, got to move to Leon,
Well,
and
it was sort of similar to Nery Castillo. Nery Castillo was like a year, 2 year thing
yeah,
basically,
yeah,
and then everything fell off.
yeah,
But, fuck, that was magical. I mean, that
yeah.
Copa America in 2007, I mean, if kids are listening to us
Oof.
and watch those, oh my god. I thought we had Messi, man,
And
what the
this is
heck, man?
before social media and all that, like, can you imagine him doing that shit in, like, prime Twitter era?
Holy moly, bro.
The hype, the YouTube hype videos these kids would make to Nery Castillo. Oof.
My god, it was something special. I mean, it
Streets are
was
not
just
ready.
this kid, that guy was something. I mean, I remember that game against Paraguay. I mean, he got hammered, hammered. And I mean, at the end of the day, that's what, El Tri beat Paraguay by like 6 something, 6-0, which right now seems unthinkable because the game has gotten so balanced and so close. But that was Nery. I mean, Nery Castillo made Juan Carlos Cacho look good. I mean, that's how magical it was. I mean, it's rare when Cuauhtemoc Blanco was revering another player because it was always everyone revering at Cuauhtemoc Blanco. In this freaking Copa America, it was the other way around. It was Cuauhtemoc Blanco just raving on Nery Castillo all the time. So it was one of those magical moments that I think, that it's unbeatable. It's unbeatable.
He finished 3rd in a Copa America in scoring behind some guy named Juan Roman Riquelme and Robinho.
Holy moly.
And yeah, you're right. He had all his 18 caps came in between summer of 2007 and 2009. All
Yeah.
21 of his caps.
Yeah, yeah, and I remember in that Copa America, the semi was Argentina, Mexico, and I remember the coach of Argentina was Coco Basile, and Coco Basile has a really deep voice, and he said that this guy, he couldn't believe that Mexico had a player of that sort. It's like, how is it possible? Like, he didn't make sense of it. And, when the semifinal came, Nery Castillo wasn't 100% because he had gotten banged up so many times, and Argentina had that advantage. Also, I would say Hugo Sanchez there started Osvaldo Sanchez on goal when Guillermo Ochoa had been already goalkeeping way better than Osvaldo Sanchez. Because in that Copa America in 2007, Ochoa started against Brazil and he did a magical game. One of the most, I mean, this guy was just all over the place. It was the same game where Nery Castillo scored that freak ass goal.
That goalie bounced it over himself.
Yeah, yeah. And in that, so when people are criticizing Ochoa, like Ochoa this and Ochoa that, and it was 2007 already, and Ochoa was way better than Osvaldo Sanchez,
Yeah.
and that's how special Ochoa has been.
And who was on the bench for Argentina that game? Some guy named Diego Milito.
Mira nomás.
Oh, that summer was crazy, man. Can you imagine like that if that era happened in social media, all the stuff that would come out about Eddie Castillo, his press conferences.
No, no, he was something. I mean, it was. Like I told you, I mean, it is crazy how things turned out. I mean, it wasn't the best how everything ended. Because one of the reasons he sort of disappeared from the map is because his parents passed away. I mean, back to back, basically,
Yeah,
and
it
he fell
was
in a huge depression and just couldn't do it anymore. The passion for the game died off, and he lost it.
yeah, just wild.
Yeah.
Man, I'll always love bringing up Eddie Castillo.
Then you Castillo played at the Chicago Fire. I mean, that's
I I heard the stories. I remember hearing stories of him smoking in the visiting team locker room between training sessions.
yeah, but at that point he was already in the low. He was in
Yeah,
the low.
yeah, yeah. Man, Eddie Castillo, just anytime I think of just that was just in 1 month, he scored, 6 goals for Mexico.
And not any goal. All the goals were just fantastic with that left foot he had. I mean, and I think he wore Puma shoes. He's sponsored by Puma, I believe, because at the time he played for Olympiacos in
Mhm.
Greece, and Olympiacos was Puma. So he had those nice Puma boots.
And the thing with him is he was the OG dual national. I mean, he could have Greece was trying to pay him. Greece was reportedly offered to pay him $800,000 and fast track his citizenship so he could play for the Greek national team.
And what made the difference was Hugo Sanchez called him. And when Hugo Sanchez called him, it's like, "You're my man." And then, I mean, it was Hugo. Hugo's the
Yeah,
greatest Mexican striker to ever live. And I think, if it wasn't for Hugo, we don't have an Eddie Castillo.
because Nettie played for the Uruguay U17. He did a couple training camps with them.
Shoot.
Yeah, good times. Well, let's end it on that Nettie Castillo note.
And Eddie Castillo, no. And I think if you listen to this podcast, you're gonna remember that time period. I mean, it was fantastic.
It was like peak going in the message boards and trying to find footage of this guy he played in Greece, but he was Mexican. Like it was
Yeah.
rare back then.
Yeah, yeah. And now look, it's so internationalized, no, with Fidalgo, with Quiñones. even with Ovett and Brian Gutierrez, coming from the US and their backgrounds. I mean, we've come a long way with that.
Yep. Why can't I think of the guy's name? Lilin? The guy what's the guy who's doing the youth national stuff?
Andres Lilini.
Shout out to him. We got all these tall, half German, half Mexican guys playing the
And,
U17.
and the thing I like about Andres is that he shows it with the work. There's a lot of scouting going on that is very specific. It's like talking with parents and many times it's the parent reaching out to Lilini and saying, I got a kid here in Italy. No, he's playing for Roma and he wants to play for Mexico. Lilini hears it, and of course, it's like, wait a second. There's this Italian kid, a Mexican kid here. Why not bring him over? And I think it's important to create the environment and the atmosphere to normalize it. Because I think it's important to normalize it because that's the reality now. You know,
And
it,
Mexico spends money. Like, Mexico spends a lot of money on the youth teams. They enter a lot of tournaments. They're doing camps all over the world. Like, FMF has money.
and they got to use it wisely. I mean, you got to find your edge, no? And everything works together. No, the youth teams. What we were just talking about the agencies. I mean, who the heck would have thought that Oromia Gonzalez was with Rock Nation?
Rock Nation. The Rock is still alive.
I mean, I mean, all that stuff. Rafaela Pimenta with Gil Mora, all that helps in the overall
Yep.
structure of Mexican football.
Yep. All right. Well, we'll end it on there. Maybe we'll get together later this week after the Serbia. I'll say some Padre Nuestros. No one gets hurt.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm just glad we're not playing at AT&T Stadium. So
We're in good shape.
we're good. Well, Naeem, thanks for joining. And yeah, let's have some fun this summer. Let's see what happens.
Let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy it and see if we can, see history. And right now we were talking a lot about Nery Castillo and Gallito Vasquez. Maybe this is Mora, no? And we're gonna talk about man that first World Cup de Mora and this and that and this goal and that assist.
I mean, we
You
still talk
never know,
about
bro.
we talk about Andres Guardado just coming in as a 19-year-old in '06.
Uh huh.
Where do we
No.
talk about that with Mora?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like my mom always says, uno nunca sabe.
Uno nunca sabe.
All right, thanks for listening, guys. Take care.
Take care.